Welcome, dear friend. Tonight, we travel back hundreds of years to a quiet medieval village where the scent of warm bread fills the cool morning air. You are not a brave knight, a wealthy king, or a famous explorer. Instead, you are a simple baker whose life begins long before sunrise and ends long after the village has fallen asleep. This is not a tale of danger or excitement. It is a slow, peaceful journey through flour, fire, wooden ovens, and gentle routines. So settle into your bed, relax your shoulders, close your eyes if you wish, and let every soft word carry you further into calm. As the village sleeps, your peaceful day as a medieval baker is about to begin. Before the first rooster sings, you quietly wake inside your tiny wooden home beside the bakery. The morning air feels cold against your skin, and the village remains wrapped in darkness. A small candle flickers on the rough wooden table, while you carefully dress in simple linen clothes covered with a worn apron. Outside, the streets are silent except for the distant sound of an owl. You gather dry wood and slowly light the great stone oven, knowing it will take hours before it becomes hot enough for baking. As the flames grow brighter, the smell of burning oak gently fills the room. The peaceful rhythm of another ordinary day begins, just as it has for countless mornings before this one. As the oven slowly gathers warmth, you prepare the day's first batch of dough. A heavy sack of coarse flour rests against the wall, waiting patiently. You scoop flour into a wide wooden bowl, then add cool water drawn from the village well before dawn. A pinch of precious salt follows, along with a small piece of yesterday's sourdough starter, carefully saved for this morning. With steady hands, you begin to mix everything together. The dough feels rough at first, but each gentle fold makes it softer and smoother. There is no hurry here. Every movement is calm, familiar, and comforting. Outside, the eastern sky slowly turns pale blue, promising another quiet day, while the peaceful village begins to awaken around you. The dough now rests beneath a clean linen cloth, quietly rising beside the warm stone oven. During this peaceful waiting time, you tidy the bakery with slow and careful movements. You sweep the wooden floor, wipe flour from the sturdy workbench, and arrange woven baskets where the fresh loaves will soon rest. The comforting smell of warm wood, baking stones, and soft flour fills every corner of the room. Outside, the first birds begin their gentle morning songs, while a cool breeze drifts through the open window, carrying the scent of dew-covered grass. The village is slowly waking, but inside the bakery, everything remains calm and unhurried. You smile softly, knowing that simple routines can bring the greatest sense of peace and quiet satisfaction. The dough has grown light and full of tiny air pockets, ready for the next careful step. You gently place it onto the smooth wooden table, dusted with fresh flour. With calm hands, you knead it once more, pressing and folding with a slow, steady rhythm that feels almost like quiet meditation. Soon, you divide the dough into round portions, shaping each loaf with patience and care. Every loaf looks a little different, reminding you that nothing made by hand is ever exactly the same. Outside, golden sunlight begins to shine across the rooftops, and the village slowly comes alive. Smoke rises from stone chimneys, distant footsteps echo along the narrow streets, and another peaceful morning quietly unfolds before your eyes. The stone oven is finally hot enough to welcome the first loaves of the day. You use a long wooden peel to gently slide each round loaf onto the warm baking stones. One by one, they disappear into the glowing oven, where gentle heat slowly transforms soft dough into fragrant bread. You carefully close the heavy wooden door and listen to the quiet crackling of the fire. There is nothing to rush. Baking is a lesson in patience, and time cannot be hurried. As the minutes pass, a rich aroma of fresh bread begins to fill the bakery and drift into the peaceful village streets. Soon, neighbors will follow that comforting scent, smiling as they begin another calm and ordinary medieval morning together. As the bread bakes quietly, the village begins to stir with gentle life. A farmer leads his old horse along the narrow dirt road, while a milkmaid carries 2 wooden buckets toward the market square. Their footsteps are soft, never hurried, as the cool morning slowly gives way to golden sunlight. Inside the bakery, you sit on a small wooden stool and enjoy the peaceful silence between simple tasks. The fire crackles gently, and the warm glow from the oven fills the room with comfort. Every now and then, you glance through the tiny window to watch the sleepy village awaken. It is a life without great excitement, yet every ordinary moment feels rich with calm, warmth, and quiet contentment that settles deeply into your heart. A soft, golden crust begins to form on the loaves as the comforting aroma of fresh bread fills every corner of the bakery. You carefully open the heavy oven door, and a wave of gentle warmth surrounds you. Using the long wooden peel, you slowly lift each loaf from the hot stone floor. Their crisp crusts crackle quietly as they cool, creating one of the most satisfying sounds in the peaceful bakery. You place the warm bread into woven baskets lined with clean linen cloth, allowing the steam to escape naturally. Outside, a few early villagers pause near the bakery, smiling as the delicious scent reaches them. The day has only just begun, yet your simple work has already brought comfort, nourishment, and quiet happiness to the entire village. The small bell above the bakery door gives a gentle ring as your very first customer steps inside. An elderly woman wrapped in a simple wool cloak smiles warmly and greets you with quiet kindness. She chooses a fresh round loaf, still slightly warm from the oven, and carefully places a few copper coins on the wooden counter. You thank her with a friendly nod, and she leaves carrying the comforting scent of fresh bread into the cool morning air. Soon, more villagers arrive one by one, each exchanging soft greetings and peaceful conversation. There is no rush, no loud voices, only the calm rhythm of a close-knit community beginning another ordinary day. Your bakery becomes a warm gathering place filled with kindness, comfort, and gentle smiles. The morning grows brighter as sunlight pours through the small bakery window, painting warm golden patterns across the wooden floor. Most of the fresh bread has already found new homes, carried away in woven baskets and cloth bags. The bakery becomes quiet again, offering a welcome pause after the gentle morning visitors. You pour yourself a small cup of cool water and sit beside the open doorway, enjoying the peaceful breeze. In the distance, children laugh softly as they chase one another across the village green, while a blacksmith's steady hammer rings faintly through the air. You take a slow, deep breath, grateful for this simple life. In this calm medieval village, every ordinary moment feels meaningful, comforting, and perfectly unhurried. By late morning, the bakery settles into a quiet stillness once again. The fire in the stone oven has softened into glowing embers, no longer roaring, but still holding gentle warmth. You begin cleaning the wooden surfaces, brushing away leftover flour and crumbs with slow, practiced movements. Outside, the village is fully awake now, yet everything remains calm and steady. A distant church bell rings softly, marking the passing hours in a peaceful rhythm. You pause for a moment and look around your small workspace, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction in the simple work you do each day. There is nothing grand or extraordinary here, only the steady comfort of routine, the scent of bread lingering in the air, and the quiet beauty of an ordinary medieval life. As the afternoon slowly approaches, the bakery feels warmer and quieter, with only faint echoes of the morning rush remaining. You gather the empty baskets and stack them neatly beside the wall, preparing for the next small batch that might be needed later in the day. The sunlight outside shifts gently, casting longer shadows across the village streets. From your doorway, you can see a traveler resting beneath a large oak tree, enjoying the shade and the soft countryside breeze. Inside, the scent of baked bread still lingers like a comforting memory, mixing with the earthy smell of wood and stone. You sit for a moment, hands resting on your lap, allowing yourself to simply exist in this peaceful rhythm of medieval life. The afternoon remains calm, with only occasional footsteps passing by the bakery door. You decide to prepare a small second batch of dough, just in case any villagers return later in the evening. The process feels even more relaxed now, as there is no pressure or rush. Flour drifts softly through the air as you mix, knead, and shape with familiar ease. Outside, the village square glows under warm sunlight, and the sound of distant chatter carries gently on the breeze. A group of children play near the well, their laughter echoing softly through the narrow streets. Inside your bakery, time feels slow and steady, as if the entire world has agreed to move at a peaceful, unhurried pace. Evening begins to approach slowly over the medieval village, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and pale purple. Weary villagers begin returning to their homes, carrying baskets, tools, and quiet stories from the day. Inside the bakery, you prepare final touches on the remaining dough, shaping it gently for the evening bake. The warm glow of the oven returns as you light the fire once again. You move slowly, calmly, as if the world itself has agreed to slow down with you. The bakery feels like a safe, timeless place where nothing ever truly changes. You listen to the soft sounds of the village, letting them guide you into deep calm. Night slowly arrives, and you feel grateful for this quiet life of bread, fire, and peaceful repetition in the medieval world around you, settling softly, now completely. As the oven warms for the evening bake, the village outside grows quieter again. Lanterns begin to flicker along the narrow streets, casting soft golden light on the stone paths. You carefully place the shaped dough onto wooden trays, preparing them for their final transformation. The fire inside the oven glows steadily, like a calm heartbeat in the center of the bakery. Each movement you make is slow and intentional, as if every action carries a gentle purpose. Outside, the wind moves softly through the rooftops, carrying the faint scent of smoke and evening air. You pause for a moment, listening to the silence between sounds, noticing how peaceful everything feels. In this simple rhythm of baking and waiting, the world feels safe, quiet, and endlessly soothing as night continues to settle over the medieval village, slowly around you now. The second batch of bread slides gently into the glowing stone oven, and you close the heavy wooden door with care. Inside, the heat surrounds the dough, slowly turning it into something warm, golden, and comforting. You sit nearby on your small stool, watching the soft light of the fire dance across the bakery walls. The village outside has nearly fallen silent now, with only distant footsteps and the occasional bark of a dog breaking the stillness. You feel a deep sense of calm as you wait, knowing that this simple process has repeated itself for countless days before and will continue long after. Time feels slower here, almost suspended, as if the world itself is breathing gently alongside you in perfect harmony with the quiet rhythm of medieval life unfolding around you now, in peace. As the bread continues to bake, The warmth of the oven fills the entire room with a comforting glow. You lean back slightly and rest your hands, allowing your thoughts to drift gently. The soft crackling of firewood becomes almost like a lullaby, steady and soothing. Outside, the village is now wrapped in evening calm, with only a few lanterns flickering in the distance. You think about how every day follows the same peaceful rhythm: kneading, baking, waiting, and sharing. There is beauty in this repetition, in knowing exactly what tomorrow will bring without fear or uncertainty. A cool breeze slips through a small crack in the window, mixing with the scent of fresh bread. It feels as if the world itself is quietly resting alongside you in this timeless medieval moment. The evening deepens further, and the bakery becomes even more peaceful as shadows stretch slowly across the wooden floor. The second batch of bread is nearly ready, its crust forming a deep golden color that signals perfection. You rise from your stool and approach the oven with steady, practiced movements, feeling the familiar warmth against your face. Outside, the village is now almost completely silent, except for the soft rustling of trees and the distant hoot of an owl in the forest. The world feels smaller at night, as if everything has gently folded itself into rest. You carefully prepare the wooden peel, ready to retrieve the loaves when the time is right. In this quiet moment, there is no urgency, no pressure, only calm anticipation. Each passing second feels soft and unhurried, blending into the next like a gentle stream flowing through the heart of medieval life. At last, the oven door creaks open, releasing a wave of warm, fragrant air that fills the bakery. You carefully slide out the second batch of bread, each loaf perfectly baked with a crisp, golden crust and a soft, steaming interior. The familiar crackling sound of cooling bread echoes gently through the room, adding to the soothing atmosphere. You place the loaves into woven baskets lined with linen, arranging them with quiet care. Outside, the night sky has fully taken over, revealing countless stars scattered like tiny lanterns across the darkness. The village is now asleep, resting under the calm embrace of night. You pause for a moment, standing still in the warm glow of the oven, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. Everything you needed to accomplish today is complete, and the world feels peaceful, balanced, and quietly perfect in its simple medieval rhythm. With the final loaves safely placed in their baskets, you begin the gentle process of winding down the bakery for the night. The fire in the stone oven has softened into glowing embers, casting a warm orange light that slowly fades into deeper shadows. You sweep the wooden floor once more, brushing away traces of flour that still linger from the day's work. Each movement is unhurried, almost meditative, as if your body naturally understands that rest is near. Outside, the medieval village is completely silent now, wrapped in a blanket of stillness, broken only by the distant whisper of wind through the trees. You take one last look around your small, familiar space, feeling gratitude for its warmth and simplicity. This humble bakery has been your entire world today, and it has given you everything you needed: peace, purpose, and quiet fulfillment in every passing hour. You step outside the bakery for a moment, closing the wooden door softly behind you. The night air is cool and refreshing against your skin, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke and distant fields. Above you, the sky is vast and filled with countless stars, glowing quietly over the sleeping medieval village. Not a single sound disturbs the stillness, except for the soft rustle of leaves in the gentle wind. You stand there for a while, simply breathing, letting the calm of the night settle deep within you. There is no rush to go anywhere, no task waiting to be done. Only silence, only peace, only the quiet rhythm of existence itself. In this moment, you feel completely present, as if time has paused just for you. allowing you to rest inside the beauty of this simple medieval world before the next day begins. You slowly return inside the bakery, gently closing the door behind you as the warmth of the interior welcomes you back. The faint glow of the dying embers casts long, soft shadows across the wooden walls, creating a comforting atmosphere that feels like a final embrace from the day. You take a moment to check everything one last time. The empty flour sacks, the neatly stacked baskets, the cooled stone oven, each detail confirming that all is in order. Outside, the medieval village remains wrapped in deep silence, as if the entire world has drifted into a shared sleep. You move quietly, almost instinctively, as though even your footsteps understand the importance of peace at this hour. Sitting down near the oven, you let your shoulders relax completely. The air is still, warm, and filled with the lingering scent of bread, reminding you of the steady, simple rhythm that carried you through this entire day. As you sit in the quiet bakery, a deep sense of exhaustion and comfort begins to blend together, creating a calm heaviness in your body that feels gentle rather than tiring. The world outside is now completely asleep, and even the wind seems to move more slowly, as if it respects the silence of the night. You listen to the faint, almost imperceptible sounds around you, the soft settling of wooden beams, the distant call of an owl, and the last lingering crackle of cooling embers. Everything feels connected in a peaceful, invisible rhythm. You lean back against the wall, allowing your thoughts to drift without direction, like leaves floating on still water. There is nothing left to do, nowhere left to go. Only this moment remains, a moment of pure stillness where time loses meaning, and the medieval world gently holds you in its quiet, comforting embrace as sleep begins to approach softly now. Your breathing naturally slows as the peaceful atmosphere of the bakery surrounds you like a soft blanket. The faint glow of embers continues to fade, leaving behind a gentle darkness that feels safe and welcoming rather than empty. You remain seated, completely still, as if even movement might disturb the fragile calm of the night. Outside, the medieval village sleeps deeply, its narrow streets empty and silent under the vast, star-filled sky. In this moment, time no longer feels important. The past day, the next morning, and every task in between seem distant and unimportant compared to the quiet now unfolding around you. Your eyelids grow heavier, and your thoughts begin to blur softly at the edges, like distant echoes fading into silence. The bakery, once filled with warmth and activity, has now become a place of pure rest, guiding you gently towards sleep with every passing second. The final traces of warmth in the bakery fade slowly into the cool embrace of night. You remain still, feeling the last gentle waves of comfort settle through your body like calm water. The wooden chair beneath you feels steady and familiar, grounding you in this peaceful moment. Outside, the village is completely silent now, wrapped in deep darkness and soft starlight. No footsteps, no voices, only the quiet presence of night itself. You think briefly about tomorrow's bread, tomorrow's fire, tomorrow's simple routine. But even those thoughts drift away effortlessly, losing shape as sleep draws closer. The air around you feels soft and weightless, as if the entire world is gently encouraging you to rest. Each breath becomes slower, deeper, and more peaceful than the last. The medieval bakery is no longer just your workplace. It has become a place of calm transition, where day ends and sleep quietly begins. You feel your awareness beginning to soften, like a candle flame slowly lowering in a quiet room. The bakery is now almost completely dark, except for the faint memory of warmth lingering in the stone oven. Everything feels distant yet comforting, as if you are floating gently between wakefulness and sleep. Outside, the medieval village remains undisturbed, held in a deep and peaceful slumber beneath the wide night sky. There is no urgency in this world, no noise, no movement that demands your attention. Only stillness remains. You let go of every remaining thought, allowing your mind to drift freely without direction or resistance. The sense of time fades further, becoming unimportant and soft. In this quiet transition, the bakery, the village, and even yourself feel like part of a larger, gentle silence that carries you effortlessly toward rest. A deep calm settles over you now, as if the entire medieval world has slowed its heartbeat just to match your breathing. The wooden walls of the bakery stand quietly around you, no longer filled with the energy of the day, but instead holding a soft and reassuring silence. You barely notice the passage of time anymore, because time itself feels distant and unimportant. Outside, the village lies under a blanket of stillness, so complete that even the stars above seem motionless. Your thoughts dissolve gently, leaving only a feeling of warmth and safety that spreads through your entire body. There is nothing left to analyze, nothing left to prepare, nothing left to worry about. Only rest remains. And in this rest, you begin to drift further away from wakefulness, carried gently by the peaceful rhythm of the night, into deeper and deeper relaxation. Your body becomes heavier in the most comfortable way, sinking softly into the stillness of the bakery, as if the world itself is holding you in place. The faint scent of bread, now only a memory in the air, lingers like a gentle reminder of the day that has passed. Every sound has disappeared, replaced by a profound silence that feels almost protective. You no longer feel the need to move or think. Instead, you simply exist within this calm moment where everything is safe and quiet. Outside, the medieval night stretches endlessly, but even that vastness feels close and comforting rather than distant. Your mind drifts slowly, like a boat on a calm river, carried by unseen currents of rest. With each passing breath, sleep becomes closer, softer, and more inviting, wrapping you gently in the peaceful embrace of this timeless world. The boundaries between your thoughts and the surrounding silence begin to blur, as if the bakery and your mind are slowly becoming one peaceful space. The wooden floor, the stone oven, the faint shadows on the walls, all of it feels distant, yet strangely comforting, like a memory you can almost touch, but not fully grasp. You remain still, allowing the calm to deepen without interruption. Outside, the medieval village sleeps on, untouched by time, wrapped in the soft darkness of night. There is no need to return to the past day or imagine the next one. Only this gentle present exists, stretching endlessly like a quiet river flowing without effort. Your breathing slows further, each inhale and exhale blending seamlessly into the surrounding stillness. Sleep is no longer approaching. It is already beginning to gently hold you. A soft wave of calm passes through you, deeper than before, as if the entire medieval world is exhaling along with you. The bakery feels quieter than ever, not empty, but complete, as though every sound it once held has now settled into memory. You no longer feel separate from the space around you. Instead, you feel gently connected to it, like part of a larger, peaceful whole. Outside, the night remains unchanged, steady and infinite, holding the village in a calm embrace. Inside, your awareness becomes lighter, drifting slowly away from physical sensation. Thoughts no longer form clearly. They appear and dissolve like mist in the morning light. Everything softens, your body, your mind, your sense of time. There is only warmth, stillness, and the feeling of slowly letting go into something safe, familiar, and endlessly peaceful. You find yourself gently sinking deeper into this peaceful stillness, as if the world has become a soft blanket wrapping around every part of your awareness. The bakery, once filled with the energy of baking and movement, now feels like a quiet sanctuary suspended in time. Nothing demands attention anymore. Nothing pulls you forward or backward. Only the present moment exists, steady and unchanging. Outside, the medieval village continues its long, silent sleep, untouched by worry or motion. Inside, your thoughts fade into a calm background hum, no longer forming stories or concerns. Each breath feels slower than the last, guiding you further into relaxation. The wooden chair beneath you feels warmer, more comforting, as if it understands your need for rest. In this gentle space, sleep does not arrive suddenly. It unfolds slowly, naturally, like the soft closing of a long and peaceful day. The quiet deepens even further, becoming almost tangible, as if you could reach out and touch the silence surrounding you. The bakery feels like it is holding its breath along with you, preserving this final moment of stillness before complete rest. Your awareness becomes softer, lighter, and more distant, as though drifting just above the surface of reality. Outside, the medieval village remains unchanged, a world asleep beneath endless stars and gentle darkness. Inside, everything slows to its most peaceful rhythm. There is no urgency left in your thoughts, no structure holding them together. They come and go like faint echoes in a vast open space. Your body feels completely at ease now, as if every muscle has finally agreed to rest. In this perfect calm, you drift further and further into sleep, carried effortlessly by the timeless silence of the night. A final layer of softness seems to settle over everything, as though the night itself has gently lowered a curtain over the entire medieval world. The bakery is no longer just a place of work or memory. It feels like a quiet sanctuary suspended between waking and dreaming. You remain still, with no need to resist or guide your thoughts, because they have already begun to dissolve into calm emptiness. Outside, the sleeping village is unchanged, peaceful and eternal beneath the wide sky. Inside, your sense of time fades almost completely, leaving only the gentle rhythm of breathing as an anchor to this moment. Each breath is slower, lighter, and more distant than the last, guiding you deeper into a state of pure rest. There is nothing left to hold on to now, only the soft unfolding of sleep that continues naturally, quietly, and endlessly. The silence around you feels complete now, as if the entire world has agreed to pause in perfect stillness just for this moment. The bakery, once filled with warmth and motion, now exists only as a quiet shadow of its daytime self. You no longer feel the boundaries of the room as clearly. Everything blends gently into a single field of calm awareness. Outside, the medieval night stretches endlessly, yet it feels close and comforting, rather than vast or distant. Your thoughts have become rare and faint, appearing only as soft impressions before dissolving again into silence. There is no effort in letting go anymore. It happens naturally, like water returning to stillness after movement. Each breath carries you deeper into relaxation, guiding you effortlessly towards sleep. In this gentle descent, everything feels safe, quiet, and perfectly at rest. The final traces of awareness begin to fade like distant echoes, disappearing into the night. The bakery feels softer now, almost dreamlike, as if its walls are slowly dissolving into the surrounding silence. You are no longer holding on to thoughts or intentions. Instead, you are simply drifting within a vast, peaceful stillness that has no beginning or end. Outside, the medieval village remains asleep, untouched by time, while above it all, the night sky continues its quiet watch. Inside, your breathing becomes the only remaining rhythm, slow and steady like a gentle tide. Even that begins to feel distant, as if it belongs to someone far away. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to understand. Only rest remains, unfolding endlessly and effortlessly, guiding you deeper into a state where sleep and silence become one. Everything now feels weightless, as if you are no longer fully anchored to the physical world of the bakery. The wooden chair, the stone oven, the faint outlines of walls, all of it blends into a soft, indistinct presence that gently surrounds you. Your awareness drifts quietly, without direction, carried by an invisible current of deep relaxation. Outside, the medieval village continues its timeless slumber, unchanged and undisturbed beneath the vast night sky. Inside, there is only stillness, expanding slowly and naturally, filling every corner of your mind. Thoughts no longer appear with clarity. Instead, they fade before they can fully form, like ripples disappearing into calm water. Each breath feels lighter, more distant, and more effortless, guiding you further into peaceful surrender. In this quiet space, sleep is not something you approach, it is something you are already becoming. A deep and comforting silence now surrounds everything, as if the entire medieval world has gently wrapped itself in layers of stillness. The bakery no longer feels separate from you. Instead, it feels like an extension of this calm state you are slowly entering. There is no distinction between inside and outside, between thought and silence, between waking and dreaming. Everything blends into a single peaceful presence. Outside, the village remains in perfect rest, its quiet streets untouched by movement or sound. Inside, your awareness continues to soften, becoming lighter with every passing moment. Even the idea of time feels distant, as if it no longer applies here. You simply exist within this gentle flow of calm, where nothing is required of you anymore. In this space, sleep deepens naturally, carrying you further into comfort, warmth, and endless stillness. The stillness grows even deeper now, becoming almost like a soft ocean of silence that gently surrounds every part of your awareness. The bakery feels far away, yet strangely close, as if it exists both within you and around you at the same time. There is no longer any need to notice details or hold on to thoughts. Everything simply flows into a calm, unified presence. Outside, the medieval village remains in complete peace, unchanged by time or movement, resting beneath the wide and endless night sky. Inside, your sense of self begins to feel lighter, as though slowly dissolving into the quiet atmosphere that holds you so gently. Each breath becomes softer, slower, and more distant, blending seamlessly into the surrounding stillness. In this profound calm, sleep deepens naturally, carrying you further into a place where nothing remains but peace and gentle rest. A final wave of calmness washes over everything, deeper and softer than anything before it, as if the entire world has exhaled into complete silence. The bakery, once filled with the rhythm of daily life, now feels like a distant memory wrapped in warmth and stillness. You are no longer focused on anything specific. Instead, you are gently immersed in a vast sense of quiet presence that holds you effortlessly. Outside, the medieval village continues its eternal sleep, untouched by time, unchanged and peaceful beneath the endless night sky. Inside, even your awareness becomes faint and gentle, like a soft light slowly dimming without resistance. Thoughts no longer appear, they have fully dissolved into calm. Each breath fades into the next without separation, guiding you deeper into a space where only peace remains. In this final layer of stillness, sleep and silence become one continuous, soothing experience. The sense of separation between you and the bakery fades even further, until everything feels like a single, unified field of quiet calm. There is no clear boundary between inside and outside, between thought and silence, between presence and rest. Everything flows together in a soft, seamless way, as if the entire medieval world has gently dissolved into peaceful awareness. Outside, the village remains completely asleep, untouched by sound or movement, resting beneath the vast, star-filled sky. Inside, your mind becomes quieter than ever, with even the faintest traces of thought disappearing into stillness. You are no longer trying to observe or understand anything. Instead, you are simply being, fully and effortlessly, within this calm moment. Each breath is lighter than the last, fading gently into silence. In this deep and endless peace, sleep continues to unfold naturally, carrying you ever deeper into rest. The quiet presence that surrounds you now feels complete, as if nothing more is needed for this moment to be whole. The bakery, once a place of effort and activity, now exists only as a gentle outline within your awareness, slowly dissolving into the softness of night. There is no urgency, no direction, no expectation, only a vast and peaceful stillness that holds everything together. Outside, the medieval village remains asleep, unchanged and serene beneath the endless sky. Inside, your awareness continues to fade gently, becoming lighter and more distant with each passing second. Thoughts no longer form, they simply vanish before appearing. Even your sense of breathing feels far away, like a soft echo in a vast, quiet space. In this deep calm, everything becomes one continuous experience of rest, guiding you effortlessly into sleep that feels natural, safe, and infinite. Somewhere beyond the quiet bakery, the first hint of midnight settles gently over the fields, forests, and winding paths surrounding the medieval village. A cool breeze slips beneath the old wooden door, carrying the fresh scent of damp earth, wild herbs, and distant pine trees. You hardly notice it, yet it adds another layer of comfort to the peaceful night. The stone oven has become completely still, holding only a gentle memory of warmth from the bread baked hours ago. Every shelf, basket, and wooden table rests in perfect silence, waiting patiently for another sunrise. There is something deeply comforting about knowing tomorrow will begin much like today, with flour, water, fire, and quiet purpose. But tomorrow is far away. Right now there is only this calm night, your slow breathing, and the timeless silence that surrounds the sleepy medieval bakery, inviting you into ever deeper and gentler rest. Far above the village, the stars continue their silent journey across the clear night sky, unnoticed by everyone asleep below. Moonlight slips gently through the bakery window, painting soft silver patterns across the wooden floor and the old stone oven. You remain perfectly still, wrapped in a peaceful silence that feels warm despite the cool night outside. The empty bread baskets rest neatly on their shelves, waiting for another morning when they will once again be filled with fresh loaves. Even the tiny grains of flour scattered across the workbench seem to glow softly in the pale light. Nothing asks for your attention anymore. Nothing needs to be finished or remembered. The entire world seems content to simply exist in quiet harmony. As your breathing becomes slower and steadier, the calm medieval night gently carries you farther into restful sleep, where every passing moment feels lighter, softer, and wonderfully unhurried. Hours pass so gently that you hardly notice them. The moon climbs higher above the rooftops, bathing the quiet medieval village in a soft silver glow. Inside the bakery, everything remains exactly as you left it. The wooden shelves stand patiently against the walls, the woven baskets rest neatly in their places, and the stone oven slowly releases the last traces of warmth it gathered throughout the long day. Somewhere in the distance, a small stream flows quietly through the countryside. Its gentle sound blending with the whisper of leaves moving in the cool night breeze. You imagine the peaceful fields surrounding the village, where wheat sways slowly beneath the moonlight, waiting to become tomorrow's flour, and one day, tomorrow's bread. The thought is simple and comforting. Life moves in quiet circles here, following gentle routines that ask for patience, kindness, and steady hands, bringing peace with every passing day. Beyond the quiet village, gentle hills roll beneath the moonlight, their outlines softened by a thin veil of mist. Ancient oak trees stand silently along the winding paths, their branches swaying ever so slightly in the cool night breeze. From somewhere deep within the forest comes the faint chirp of a cricket, followed by silence that stretches peacefully across the countryside. Inside the bakery, the air remains warm enough to feel comforting, carrying the lingering scent of baked bread, oak fire, and fresh flour. You imagine tomorrow's first light slowly touching the fields where golden wheat grows patiently, waiting for another season of harvest. Nothing in this world seems rushed. Every seed takes its time to grow, every loaf takes its time to rise, and every peaceful night gently leads into another quiet morning. Surrounded by this timeless rhythm, your heart feels calm, your breathing slow, and your mind wonderfully at ease. The moon begins its slow journey toward the western horizon, though the night still feels endless and peaceful. A gentle layer of mist settles across the fields beyond the village, covering the grass like a soft silver blanket. In the distance, an old stone bridge stretches over a narrow stream, where quiet water reflects the stars with perfect clarity. Inside the bakery, every familiar object rests exactly where it belongs. The wooden table, worn smooth by years of kneading dough, seems to hold the memory of countless peaceful mornings. The woven baskets wait patiently for another day's bread, while the stone oven stands silent after faithfully warming the bakery throughout the day. You breathe in the comforting scent of flour and wood, allowing it to calm every remaining thought. The simple rhythm of this medieval life feels timeless, inviting you to drift even deeper into peaceful rest as the quiet night continues without hurry. The peaceful night continues without interruption, as though the world has forgotten the meaning of haste. High above, the stars shine with quiet confidence, unchanged by the passing hours. A gentle breeze wanders through the narrow village lanes, brushing against wooden doors, stone walls, and flowering vines that climb the cottages. Inside the bakery, the faint aroma of warm grain still lingers, comforting and familiar. You picture the nearby fields resting beneath the moonlight, where rows of wheat sleep quietly before greeting the dawn. Somewhere beyond the hills, another baker may also be resting after a long day, ready to begin again when morning arrives. There is comfort in knowing that simple lives are connected by shared routines. As your breathing becomes slow and effortless, the calm rhythm of this medieval night gently carries you farther into deep, peaceful sleep, where every moment feels safe, warm, and beautifully unhurried. Deeper into the night, the village seems almost suspended in time, as if the entire world has paused to rest in perfect stillness. The soft glow of moonlight drifts across rooftops, revealing chimneys, wooden beams, and quiet sleeping homes beneath the endless sky. Not a single sound disturbs the calm. Even the wind feels gentler now, moving slowly through trees and fields, as though afraid to break the silence. Inside the bakery, everything remains peaceful and unchanged. The old tools rest where you left them, and the faint memory of warmth still clings to the stone oven. You feel yourself drifting further from thought, further from awareness, into a state where everything becomes soft and distant. There is no effort in this descent, only a natural flowing ease that carries you gently forward. Each passing moment deepens the calm, guiding you quietly into a space of pure, uninterrupted rest. The night grows even quieter, reaching a depth of stillness that feels almost endless, as if the world has slipped into a long, gentle dream. The medieval village remains untouched by movement, wrapped in soft darkness and scattered starlight. Inside the bakery, shadows rest calmly along the walls, no longer shifting or changing, but simply existing in peaceful balance. You no longer feel the need to observe anything around you. Everything has already settled into perfect calm. Thoughts appear only as distant echoes before fading away completely. Your breathing continues in a slow, steady rhythm, becoming softer with each cycle, as if blending into the silence itself. There is no separation now between you and the stillness that surrounds you. Everything feels unified, quiet, and deeply safe. In this timeless moment, sleep is no longer approaching. It has already gently taken hold of you. The stillness deepens beyond thought, beyond awareness, into something softer than silence itself. The bakery, once filled with the steady rhythm of daily work, now feels like a quiet memory dissolving into the night. Even that memory fades, leaving only a gentle presence that has no edges, no boundaries, no weight. Outside, the medieval village continues to sleep without interruption, held beneath the vast and endless sky. Nothing moves, nothing changes, and nothing needs to. Inside, your awareness becomes so light that it almost disappears entirely, like mist thinning at dawn. There is only warmth, only calm, only the faint impression of existence slowly drifting away. Each breath is no longer something you control. It simply happens, quietly and effortlessly. In this deep and boundless peace, everything merges into one continuous state of rest, where sleep and silence flow together without end. A final layer of softness settles over everything, deeper than before, as if the night itself has gently wrapped the entire medieval world in a blanket of absolute calm. The bakery feels distant now, almost like a place remembered in a dream, rather than a place you are in. Every sound has vanished completely, leaving behind a silence so pure it feels endless. Your awareness continues to fade gently, becoming lighter and more diffuse with each passing moment. There is no effort left in letting go, only the natural unfolding of rest. Outside, the sleeping village remains unchanged beneath the quiet sky, while inside, everything has slowed to its most peaceful state. Thoughts no longer arise, time no longer feels real. Only a soft, continuous stillness remains, guiding you deeper and deeper into sleep, where everything is calm, safe, and infinitely peaceful. The silence now feels complete, as if even the idea of sound has gently dissolved into the night. The bakery exists only as a faint outline in your awareness, no longer separate from the stillness that surrounds it. Everything feels softened, blurred at the edges, and carried by a quiet, unseen flow. Outside, the medieval village rests under the same vast sky, unchanged and peacefully unaware of time. Inside, your thoughts have nearly disappeared entirely, leaving only a deep, comforting emptiness that feels safe and infinite. Each breath becomes lighter than the last, fading gently into the background of awareness until it feels almost unnoticeable. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to hold on to. Only rest remains, expanding endlessly in every direction, gently guiding you deeper into a space where sleep is no longer something that happens. The world around you feels almost completely weightless now, as if every part of it has slowly dissolved into a soft, endless calm. The bakery, once filled with purpose and activity, now exists only as a distant echo within your fading awareness. Even that echo grows quieter with each passing moment, until it becomes nothing more than a feeling of warmth and stillness. Outside, the medieval village continues its silent rest beneath the vast night sky, unchanged and eternal. Inside, there is no longer any distinction between thought and silence, between presence and absence. Everything blends into one continuous, peaceful experience. Your breathing slows into a gentle rhythm that feels distant yet comforting, guiding you deeper into relaxation without effort or direction. In this space, sleep is not approaching from somewhere else. It is already here, surrounding you completely in soft, infinite calm. A profound stillness now surrounds everything, deeper than any moment before it, as if the entire medieval world has gently slipped beyond the reach of time. The bakery feels almost unreal, like a fading impression drifting at the edge of awareness. Nothing in this space demands attention anymore. There are no sounds to notice, no movements to observe, only an endless quiet that feels soft and protective. Outside, the village remains asleep beneath the vast sky, untouched by anything except the slow passage of night. Inside, your sense of self becomes increasingly faint, as though gently dissolving into the silence itself. Thoughts no longer form, they simply vanish before they can begin. Each breath is barely felt, blending seamlessly into the surrounding calm. In this deep and infinite peace, everything continues to soften, guiding you effortlessly into the quiet heart of sleep. The sense of being in a place begins to fade, as if the bakery is no longer a location, but simply a feeling of warmth and quiet surrounding you. Everything becomes softer, less defined, as though the edges of reality are gently dissolving into calm darkness. Outside, the medieval village continues its endless rest, untouched by time or movement, held beneath the steady glow of distant stars. Inside, even the idea of inside begins to lose meaning. There is only stillness, vast and uninterrupted, flowing through everything without resistance. Your awareness drifts gently within it, no longer anchored to anything specific, simply carried by the quiet rhythm of deep relaxation. Thoughts, sensations, and perceptions all fade into a single continuous calm, where nothing separates one moment from the next. In this peaceful expanse, sleep deepens naturally, without effort, without awareness, until only rest remains. The night feels endless now, yet completely calm, as if time itself has paused to rest alongside the sleeping medieval village. The bakery, once filled with structure and purpose, now exists only as a soft presence within a vast silence that surrounds everything. You no longer experience it as a place, but as a gentle feeling of safety and warmth that slowly expands and fades at the same time. Outside, the world remains unchanged beneath the stars, wrapped in deep, undisturbed quiet. Inside, awareness becomes thinner and more distant, like mist dissolving into open air. There is no need to hold on to anything, not thoughts, not sensations, not even the sense of being awake. Everything gradually releases, layer by layer, until only a soft, continuous calm remains. In this deep and boundless stillness, sleep is not separate from you. A gentle, almost invisible shift passes through everything, as if the entire medieval world has sunk one layer deeper into quiet rest. The bakery no longer feels separate or distinct. It has become part of the same soft silence that fills all space and time. Outside, the village remains perfectly still beneath the endless night sky, unchanged and undisturbed, as though it has always existed in this state of peaceful suspension. Inside, your awareness grows lighter and more diffuse, no longer holding shape or structure. Thoughts do not appear at all now. They have completely dissolved into calm emptiness. Even the sense of time fades into something unrecognizable, replaced by a steady, continuous stillness. Each breath blends into the next without separation, like waves gently merging into a calm shore. In this quiet expanse, everything flows into deep rest, where sleep continues naturally, endlessly, and without effort. The silence becomes so complete that it feels almost alive, as if it gently holds everything in place without effort. The bakery, the village, and the night sky no longer feel separate. They all blend into a single soft experience of calm presence. There is no longer any sense of direction or movement. Everything simply is, resting in perfect harmony. Outside, the medieval world remains unchanged, wrapped in endless darkness and scattered starlight. Inside, your awareness continues to thin, becoming less defined with every passing moment. Even the idea of you begins to fade, replaced by a quiet sense of being carried by something larger and more peaceful. Thoughts no longer arise at all, and even memory feels distant and unimportant. Each breath flows naturally, effortlessly, as if belonging to the stillness itself. In this deep, boundless calm, sleep continues to unfold without interruption, leading you ever deeper into rest. A profound softness now fills everything, deeper than thought, deeper than feeling, as if reality itself has gently slowed to a perfect, peaceful pause. The bakery exists only as a faint impression, no longer anchored in place or time. It feels like a memory dissolving into warmth, fading into something beyond form. Outside, the medieval village remains untouched beneath the vast night sky, resting in absolute stillness without beginning or end. Inside, awareness becomes so light that it almost disappears entirely, blending seamlessly into the surrounding calm. There is no separation between observer and space, between breath and silence, between presence and rest. Everything merges into one continuous state of gentle ease. Even the sense of drifting fades, leaving only a quiet, infinite stillness that holds everything together. In this final softness, sleep is no longer approaching. It is complete, all-encompassing, and endlessly peaceful. The feeling of space itself begins to dissolve, as if the boundaries that once defined the bakery, the village, and the night sky have quietly disappeared. Everything now exists as one seamless field of calm, without edges, without separation, without distinction. There is no longer any sense of distance or location, only presence, soft and infinite. Outside, the medieval world continues its eternal rest beneath the stars, unchanged and perfectly still. Inside, awareness has become so gentle that it no longer registers as thought or sensation, but only as a faint impression of being carried by something deeply peaceful. Each breath is no longer noticed. It simply flows within the silence, indistinguishable from it. Time no longer holds meaning, as every moment blends into the next without interruption. In this boundless stillness, everything rests completely, and sleep continues endlessly, without beginning, without end. A final layer of quiet settles over everything, deeper than silence itself, as if the entire medieval world has gently dissolved into pure stillness. The bakery, once filled with warmth, effort, and daily rhythm, now feels like a distant dream fading into soft darkness. There is no structure left to hold on to, no memory that needs to be followed, no thought that demands attention. Everything simply flows into calm, uninterrupted presence. Outside, the village remains asleep beneath the endless sky, unchanged and timeless. Inside, awareness becomes almost completely weightless, no longer anchored to anything specific. Even the faint sense of drifting disappears, replaced by a deep and continuous peace that feels infinite in every direction. In this final quiet, there is only rest, pure, complete, and unbroken, where sleep and silence merge into one endless, gentle experience. The stillness now feels absolute, as if even existence itself has softened into a quiet, continuous calm that has no beginning or end. The bakery no longer holds any separate identity. It has become part of a vast, peaceful presence that fills everything. Outside, the medieval village remains completely at rest beneath the wide, star-filled sky, untouched by time or movement. Inside, awareness has faded to its gentlest possible state, no longer forming thoughts or impressions, only a soft sense of being held within calm. There is no direction, no effort, no distinction between space and silence. Everything merges into one seamless experience of deep rest. Each breath is no longer noticed, but simply part of the stillness itself. In this final unfolding, sleep is not something that arrives or departs. It is the only reality that remains, infinite, quiet, and endlessly peaceful. A deep, timeless quiet now fills everything without exception, as if the entire medieval world has gently slipped beyond the reach of waking life. The bakery exists only as a fading impression, no longer anchored to form or function, but drifting softly within a boundless calm. Outside, the village remains in perfect stillness beneath the endless night sky, unchanged and eternal, as though frozen in a peaceful moment that will never end. Inside, awareness becomes almost entirely weightless, dissolving into a soft, continuous presence that cannot be separated into thoughts or sensations. Everything flows together without effort or interruption. There is no longer any sense of movement or change, only a vast and gentle stillness that holds everything in perfect balance. In this final depth of quiet, sleep is no longer something you enter. It is the only state that remains, infinite and complete. The sense of reality becomes softer than ever, as if it is slowly dissolving into a warm, endless silence that surrounds everything equally. The bakery, the village, and even the night sky no longer feel separate or distinct. Instead, they merge into a single, gentle presence that has no edges and no boundaries. Outside, the medieval world continues its deep rest beneath the stars, untouched and perfectly still. Inside, awareness has become so faint that it no longer registers as thought or perception, but only as a quiet openness within the calm. There is no effort left, no direction, no awareness of time or space. Everything simply exists in a state of effortless peace. Each breath is indistinguishable from the silence around it. In this profound stillness, sleep is not something experienced. It is all that exists, endlessly calm and completely complete. A final, almost imperceptible softness spreads through everything, as if even the idea of existence has gently quieted into stillness. The bakery feels like a distant echo, no longer tied to any physical sense of place, but existing only as a feeling of warmth dissolving into calm. Outside, the medieval village remains in perfect, uninterrupted sleep beneath the vast, unchanging night sky. Inside, awareness has nearly vanished entirely, leaving only a subtle sense of peace that has no source and no destination. There is no separation between silence and presence, between rest and awareness. Everything flows together in one seamless, gentle continuity. Time no longer exists in any meaningful way. It has dissolved into pure stillness. In this final layer of quiet, sleep is no longer a state to enter. It is the only reality, infinite, soft, and endlessly peaceful. The quiet deepens beyond even the thought of depth, as if all layers of experience have gently dissolved into a single, boundless calm. The bakery no longer feels like a place that exists in any ordinary sense. It is simply a soft impression within an infinite field of stillness. Outside, the medieval village continues its silent rest beneath the endless sky, unchanged and untouched by time. Inside, awareness becomes so faint that it no longer separates anything. It simply blends with the surrounding quiet. There is no longer any sense of self, space, or movement. Everything flows together into one seamless experience of peace. Each breath is no longer noticed or measured. It is simply part of the stillness itself. In this profound emptiness of thought and form, sleep is not something that arrives or fades. It is the only truth that remains, endless and complete. A final veil of softness settles over everything, so gentle that even silence feels like it has dissolved into something deeper and more peaceful. The bakery, once filled with structure and purpose, now exists only as a quiet impression, drifting within an endless calm. Outside, the medieval village remains perfectly still beneath the vast night sky, untouched by time or movement, as if it has always been in this state of eternal rest. Inside, awareness has nearly disappeared completely, leaving behind only a faint sense of warmth that blends seamlessly into the surrounding stillness. There is no distinction between inside and outside, between thought and absence, between presence and rest. Everything has become one continuous field of quiet peace. In this final, boundless silence, sleep is no longer a transition. It is the only reality that remains, infinite, gentle, and complete. The stillness now feels beyond anything that can be described, as if even language itself has gently faded into silence. The bakery no longer holds shape or meaning. It exists only as a faint, warm presence within a vast and infinite calm. Outside, the medieval village continues its timeless sleep beneath the endless sky, unchanged and perfectly at peace. Inside, awareness has dissolved almost entirely, leaving no trace of separation or distinction. There is no longer any sense of movement, thought, or observation, only a quiet, unified stillness that contains everything. Each breath is no longer experienced, but simply part of the surrounding calm, flowing without beginning or end. In this deepest layer of rest, nothing remains to be understood or held onto. Sleep is not approaching. It is already complete, filling everything with endless softness and peace. Beyond the quiet bakery, the first faint promise of dawn waits patiently below the distant horizon, though the night still holds the village in its gentle embrace. The stars remain bright, shining softly over the sleeping rooftops and peaceful countryside. A cool breeze glides across the wheat fields, making each golden stalk sway in slow, graceful waves. Inside, the bakery is calm and undisturbed. The empty baskets, the wooden table, and the silent stone oven rest together as faithful companions after another simple day of honest work. You feel surrounded by a quiet sense of gratitude for this humble life, where each loaf of bread nourishes neighbors, travelers, and friends alike. Nothing here is rushed or forgotten. Every small task carries meaning, and every peaceful night offers deep rest. As the world waits for another sunrise, you continue drifting gently through comforting silence, wrapped in warmth, safety, and effortless sleep. A pale silver light begins to touch the far edge of the eastern sky, though the stars still sparkle quietly above the medieval village. Dawn is patient, never rushing the night away. Inside the bakery, everything remains peaceful. The old wooden shelves, smooth from many years of use, stand silently beside rows of woven baskets waiting for another day's bread. The stone oven has cooled completely, yet it still seems to hold the memory of yesterday's warmth. Outside, tiny drops of dew gather on the grass, reflecting the last moonlight like countless little crystals. Somewhere in the fields, a robin stirs softly among the branches, but does not yet sing. The whole world seems to pause between night and morning, holding one long, peaceful breath. You drift even deeper into comfort, knowing another gentle day will come, bringing familiar routines, kind faces, warm bread, and quiet happiness once again. The eastern horizon slowly brightens with delicate shades of blue and pale gold, yet the village remains peacefully asleep. The first light does not disturb the silence. Instead, it gently blends with it, creating a calm transition between night and morning. Inside the bakery, the familiar scent of flour, oak wood, and fresh bread still lingers softly in the air. You imagine the day ahead unfolding with the same comforting rhythm as every day before it. Soon the stone oven will be warmed again, the dough will be mixed with patient hands, and the quiet work of baking will begin once more. There is comfort in knowing that simple routines can fill an entire life with meaning. As dawn continues to spread across the sky, you remain wrapped in deep relaxation, carried by the timeless rhythm of the medieval village into peaceful, uninterrupted sleep that feels endless and serene. The first birds begin to sing softly from the branches of old oak trees, their gentle melodies floating through the cool morning air without disturbing the peaceful mood of the village. A thin ribbon of mist drifts slowly across the fields, covering the paths with a soft white blanket. Inside the bakery, everything waits quietly for another day to begin. The wooden bowls, the smooth rolling board, and the linen cloths are neatly arranged, ready for the familiar routine that has been repeated for generations. You imagine yourself rising before sunrise once again, lighting the stone oven with patient hands, and greeting the calm morning with quiet gratitude. There is no need for excitement or adventure here. The simple rhythm of honest work, warm bread, kind neighbors, and peaceful evenings is more than enough. Wrapped in this comforting thought, your mind remains calm, your breathing slow, and your sleep wonderfully deep. As the morning light slowly spreads across the countryside, golden rays touch the rooftops, fields, and winding village paths with quiet gentleness. The world awakens, one small moment at a time. A distant rooster offers a soft morning call, followed by the cheerful songs of birds greeting the new day. Yet inside the bakery, peace still lingers like a comforting blanket. The old stone walls hold the warmth of countless mornings, while the wooden shelves patiently wait to be filled with fresh loaves once again. You can almost hear the gentle rustle of flour being poured into a bowl and the quiet crackle of oak wood catching fire inside the oven. Everything feels familiar, welcoming, and calm. Another ordinary day is ready to begin, bringing the same peaceful rhythm that has guided generations before you, inviting your heart to remain restful, steady, and completely at ease. The village slowly awakens, but it does so with quiet grace rather than hurried noise. A farmer opens the wooden gate to his small pasture, while a shepherd gently leads a few sleepy sheep toward the dew-covered hills. Thin streams of smoke begin rising from cottage chimneys as breakfast fires are carefully lit. Inside the bakery, you stand before the old stone oven once more, placing a few pieces of dry oak into its waiting hearth. The familiar sound of flint striking steel echoes softly before a tiny flame appears, growing slowly into a warm and welcoming fire. Another peaceful day has begun, just like so many before it. You feel grateful for the simple routine that asks only for patience, steady hands, and a kind heart. As the first warmth fills the bakery again, a quiet sense of purpose settles gently over you, calm and comforting like the morning sunlight itself. You carry a small wooden bucket to the village well, where the cool morning air feels fresh against your face. The water is clear and still, reflecting the pale blue sky above. As you lower the bucket with a thick rope, you hear the gentle splash echo from deep below. Slowly, you pull it back up, feeling the familiar weight of fresh water that will soon become part of today's bread. Along the path home, a few villagers greet you with warm smiles and quiet nods. No one seems hurried. Everyone moves with the calm rhythm of another ordinary morning. Returning to the bakery, you pour the cool water into a large wooden bowl beside the sack of flour. the simple task feels peaceful and meaningful, reminding you that every loaf begins with humble ingredients, patient hands, and a quiet heart ready for another beautiful day. Back inside the bakery, you untie the coarse sack of freshly milled flour and gently scoop it into a wide wooden bowl. Fine white dust rises into the morning light, floating through the air before settling softly onto the workbench. You pour in the cool well water, add a careful pinch of salt, and place a small piece of yesterday's sourdough starter into the mixture. With slow, steady movements, you begin to stir everything together using your hands. The dough feels cool, soft, and slightly rough at first, but with every fold, it becomes smoother and more elastic. The familiar rhythm is calming, almost like a quiet meditation repeated every morning. Outside, the village continues to awaken, one gentle sound at a time, while inside the bakery, another peaceful day begins exactly as it always has, bringing comfort, purpose, and quiet joy to your heart. The dough rests beneath a clean linen cloth, slowly rising beside the warming stone oven. You use this quiet moment to open the bakery shutters, allowing the gentle morning light to fill the room with a soft golden glow. Dust motes drift lazily through the sunbeams, creating a peaceful scene that feels almost timeless. Outside, the narrow village street comes alive with calm, familiar activity. A farmer greets his neighbors with a friendly wave, while a child carefully carries a basket of apples toward the market square. Inside, you take a deep, slow breath, enjoying the comforting scent of flour, wood, and fresh air. The simple beauty of this ordinary morning reminds you that happiness is often found in quiet routines rather than grand adventures. As the dough continues to rise, you smile softly, grateful for another peaceful day in your little medieval bakery. When the dough has risen enough, you gently uncover the wooden bowl and smile at its soft, airy texture. With careful hands, you place it onto the floured workbench, where years of quiet labor have polished the wood until it feels smooth beneath your fingers. You knead the dough slowly, folding and pressing with a calm rhythm that matches your steady breathing. There is no need to hurry. Every loaf takes its own time, just as every sunrise arrives in its own gentle way. Outside, the village carries on with peaceful conversations, the distant creak of wagon wheels, and the cheerful songs of birds flying overhead. Inside the bakery, only the quiet sounds of your hands shaping the dough fill the room. Each round loaf becomes a small gift of comfort, prepared with patience, care, and the quiet hope that it will brighten someone's ordinary day. One by one, you place the freshly shaped loaves into woven proofing baskets lined with soft linen cloth. They rest quietly, growing a little lighter and fuller with each passing minute. The stone oven is now glowing with steady heat, and the gentle crackling of oak logs creates a comforting melody that fills the bakery. You prepare the long wooden peel, dusting it lightly with flour so each loaf will slide smoothly onto the hot baking stones. Outside, the market square slowly fills with friendly faces, beginning another ordinary day. A merchant arranges colorful vegetables, while a young girl laughs as she chases a curious chicken across the road. Their distant voices blend softly into the peaceful morning air. Inside, your heart remains calm, knowing that soon the bakery will once again be filled with the warm aroma of fresh bread and quiet happiness shared with the village. The moment has come to place the loaves into the hot stone oven. One by one, you slide them gently from the wooden peel onto the warm baking surface, careful not to disturb their delicate shape. The heavy oven door closes with a soft thud, and the quiet crackle of the fire continues its steady song. Now there is nothing to do but wait. Patience has always been one of a baker's greatest skills. While the bread slowly bakes, you wipe the wooden table clean and arrange empty baskets near the doorway, ready for the finished loaves. Outside, the village carries on at its gentle pace. A cart rolls quietly along the road. Birds circle high above the rooftops, and sunlight warms the old stone walls. Inside the bakery, the comforting scent of baking bread begins to rise once again, filling the room with peace and quiet satisfaction. At last, the rich aroma of freshly baked bread fills every corner of the little bakery, drifting gently through the open doorway and into the peaceful village streets. You carefully open the heavy stone oven and with steady hands lift each golden loaf onto the wooden peel. Their crisp crusts crackle softly as they cool, a quiet sound that marks another day of honest work completed with patience and care. Soon, familiar faces will arrive, greeting you with warm smiles as they carry fresh bread home to their families. The rhythm of your life remains beautifully simple, mixing flour and water, tending the fire, waiting with patience, and sharing the warmth of each loaf with others. As another peaceful day begins in your medieval village, your heart feels light and content. In this timeless place, surrounded by kindness, routine, and quiet purpose, you discover that the simplest life can also be the most comforting. And so, dear friend, our quiet journey through the peaceful life of a medieval baker gently comes to an end. From the first glow of the stone oven before sunrise to the comforting aroma of fresh bread shared throughout the village, you have experienced a day filled with simple routines, patient hands, and quiet moments of gratitude. There were no grand adventures, no battles to fight, and no treasures to chase. Only the timeless comfort of honest work and a peaceful life lived one gentle moment at a time. As the village settles once more beneath the stars, imagine yourself resting in the warm little bakery, surrounded by the faint scent of fresh bread and the fading glow of the fire. Let every remaining thought drift away like smoke into the night sky. Thank you for spending this peaceful evening together. Sleep deeply, dream softly, and may tomorrow welcome you with the same gentle calm.